Are you just getting started with Monday.com? Join me for this basic tutorial where I will show you how to set up boards and get started with everything you need to know with Monday.com.
Hi, my name is Tara, and I'm a certified Monday.com partner and the founder of Simple Day. My goal is to help you build powerful yet simple workflows with Monday.com. If you need help with a custom implementation, my contact details are in the description below. Let's jump into today's tutorial and make Monday the best part of your week.
Now that you've signed up for your Monday.com account, let's get into how you can actually use this amazing platform for task management. You can see right here that I am in a workspace. And if you click here, you can see that there is a lot of different workspaces that I have. Workspaces are kind of like large folders. Now within each workspace, you'll see over here, eventually we will have a list of boards. And that's kind of your table of contents of everything that's in this workspace. Now we're going to start with building a board because that's really what you need for task management. You need a task board. So you have two options. You either can add from templates, and when you click add from templates, you can see you can sort by all templates, ones that are recommended for you, ones that are in your account. You certainly can start with a template and you can see how many different templates Monday.com offers. I'm going to show you how to build a board from scratch without using those templates. But again, I highly recommend that you explore those templates. If I click the plus button, so I'm going to click board, and I first need to name my board. So I'm just going to call this a task board. And I can decide if it's a main board, a private board, or a shareable board. A main board means that it's shared with everyone in my company. A private board, it's only people that I want to share it with, but people that are on our Monday.com account. And a shareable board is for external people as well as people within my account. External people means people that you're not paying for their Monday.com account. Now here I can choose what I want the first column within the boards to be called. So I'm going to change this to tasks, and just to know, you can also set it to a custom setting. So I'm going to hit create board. So right now my first board is being generated, and you can see that it's a task board. If I want to change the name of it, I can change it here. I can add a description, and here I have the information about everything on my board. I also can add an emoji, and I also can favorite it. What this means is that when I search over here from favorite for favorites, you could see I see my task board there. Now let's just go back. Okay, I'm back here on my task board. Now, here I have two groups. The essence of a Monday.com board is that you have groups. That's the main structure, is that things are in groups. I can easily change the name. So let's say I want to change this to open tasks. I can also easily change the color of it. Let's say this group I want to change to completed tasks. I can simply change this color. I also can collapse groups. And I can collapse groups all at a time. So I can just click on these three dots, collapse all the groups, and everything will be collapsed. I can also expand all groups. If I want to add a new group, I can simply click on this button, add new group, or I can click over here that says new group of tasks. So again, the main structure, we're working in boards and we have different groups within the boards. Now, we also have columns. As you can see here, I have 3 different columns, but there's a lot of different kinds of columns that you can use on your boards. These are the 3 standard ones that every board comes with. A person column, which is where you would assign a task to a person, and that's saying like who's responsible for this task. A status column, which tells you the status of the task. These are my preset labels, which you can do in the admin section. But you can easily edit the labels. Let's say I need a label for approved. So you can see that I just added an approved label. Then I have a date column. Now, there are certain settings about the date column. If you want to customize it, you can have time, you can show a week number. There's also something called deadline mode. I'll just show you quickly. I actually always set this setting. So deadline mode is connected to a status column and a person. And if you click the link above, you can see a video about deadline mode. Now let's just explore some other columns. If I hit the plus button, so here you see I have status, people, date, which are our standard ones. I have a timeline column, a numbers column. I can have a text column, dependencies, formulas, drop down. I'll show you this because this is a great one. So here, let's say I need a label. Let's say I want to add my client. So here's client number 1, or if I want to add a project. Now, if you click on the link above, there's a video about the difference between status columns and drop-down columns. But both of these columns can help you decipher different information based on what you put in here. Like here, I'm just using it for status, but I can also use it for something else. Like I can set a priority column. So here, if I have a priority column, which is essentially just a status column, but here I'm marking what the priority is of something, as opposed to here where I'm checking the status. Show you some few other columns. I can add a files column. Here I have my files. I can connect it to other tools, or I can just upload it from my computer. Now, that's the basic board setup. Again, I recommend that you check the column center, and you can learn about all the different columns and see what is relevant for you. Over here, you can search. You can choose a person. So if I only want to search the things that I'm tagged on or by someone else, I can use a filter. So we have a quick filter and an advanced filter. So I'll say, let's say advanced filter when person is Tara. And you can see this is the same thing that I did before, but it's just through a filter, because I may want to further filter it and say only where group is, let's say, open tasks. Now it happens that I don't have anything in completed tasks, but if I did, this would limit it. And then I would just click save as view. And you can see once I save as view, I have a view up here, and I can rename it. Let's just call it Tara Tasks. And I have a view up there. I can also sort. I can hide columns. Like let's say I don't want to see everything. So I can just hide. And again, I could save it for view. Some people have this feature called group by, where you can group information based on different features. Not everyone has it, but it is something to check out if you do. Now I'm going to go back to my main task board. One of the amazing things about Monday is that you can add automations to task board, to any of your boards. So if I click on automate, there's two kinds of automations. There's templates. And as you see on the left here, there's a lot of different categories. And then you can see all these different kinds of automations that you can use. The second kind of automation is a custom built automation. So I'm just going to hit add custom automation, and you have to set a trigger. So my trigger is when an item is created, right? So every time an item is created, I want to set the due date, my date, to today. Now that's probably going to be my due date column. So now I have this new automation. So I'll just do test 1, and you're going to see that it is going to set the date to today. I probably want to change this to be due date. Okay. But I've used automations to automate certain things, saving me time. I highly recommend checking out the automation center. You can do things like notify someone when a task is added. You can notify someone when a task is completed. You can move a task when it is completed, when it's marked done, to the task board. I'll show you how to do that. To the completed group. So here I can do, again, where when status changes to something. Then I'm going to say move to group, and I'm just going to choose my group, completed tasks. And if I change my task here to done, you're going to see that it's moved to my completed tasks. On the right side over here, you can see that there's a lot of different settings for your boards. First, you can set the notifications. Like, do you want to mute everything only when you're mentioned and assigned? This, by the one, is the one that I use all the time, or get all notifications. You also can set permission levels. If you're on enterprise, by the way, there's a view item only permission level that you can only view what you're assigned to. But here are other permission levels, like how much you want people to play with the boards. That's really what they're asking. And here there are other settings. I can rename board. I can remove it from favorites. I can change the board type. Remember, we spoke about those different board types. So I can change the board type. A default item value is a really cool feature where I can set the item to be exactly what I want when an item is created. There's a link to a video above. I can create items by email. I can change the item terminology. This, again, is, no one gets this. This is that I can change this word task. It's called item terminology. Now, some more options. I can save this as a template. I can export my board to Excel. I can import tasks, manage duplicates, duplicate board. I can always archive or delete board. And I can also view the archive and trash board. Now, this is like the actual technical part of how to set up your board and what to do. Now, my theory on when you're managing tasks in today's world, I think you need to put every single thing within your task board. Obviously, if it's a different workflow, like if we're managing expenses, it shouldn't be in your task board. If we're talking about a CRM, that shouldn't be in your task board. But think about everything in your company that's actual tasks. I think they should go in a task board. You assign a person, you assign a date, you can tag it by, like, let's say client or a project or whatever it is, and everything's in one place. Too many times I hear from companies that are just setting up Monday that they've created a board per task or a board per project. And then they're like, I don't know what I need to do every day. So here you have everything in one task board. And then on top of that, I would create views. Like you see, I have a view for Tara tasks. I actually would edit this. This is obviously what I just used for an example, but I would change this so the person is me dynamic. So what that means is that when I sign in, I see my task, but when someone else signs in, they see their tasks. Now, another way that people work on these boards is they use something called My Work. If you click on My Work, it will show you all the boards that you're assigned to and all of the tasks that you have. So if you have a lot of tasks in a lot of different places, I would recommend checking out My Work. I think that you have a lot more visibility here, and you can do a lot more things within these boards. So I recommend working on a task board. The last thing that I want to show you is to add more views, because you can add apps here. So there's a lot of apps. Let's say you're using Superform or Miro, or you have some kinds of e-signature that you want to do. You can manage that through here, but you can also have a calendar, a Kanban view, and also a blank view, which then allows you to create dashboards. So check on this video above about creating dashboards, but I will just quickly add some widgets to just show you. I can hit chart, and you're going to see that here it's adding the tasks based on, it's still setting to my filter. So I'm just going to clear that. And basically you can see that it has the status of all of my tasks. If I want, I can add a numbers widget. There's a lot of different widgets. And again, I recommend that video that's going to show you the different widgets and how to create them. But in order to get started with task management within Monday.com, you just need to set a board, figure out what your workflow is, set up the columns, set up some automations, and you are good to go. So let me know how it goes with your first board setup. Good luck.
Hit the like button if you enjoyed this video, and remember to subscribe to receive tips and tricks on how to use Monday.com. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.